Yeah, good morning and welcome. And Melanie, thanks so much, because I don't have to basically speak that much about native, because you pretty much told everything. Because once we are coming to this beautiful life, or we are growing, surrounded by emotions, right? We are always surrounded by emotions. So I'm very, very glad actually that you joined this speech this morning, because from my perspective, it has the potential to truly change how you handle your emotions from now on. As I just mentioned, emotions are everywhere. In relationships, when you hear music, you have a feeling is coming up. And even when you are, let's say, Tom Hanks in Castaway, even when you're just by yourself, the emotions are always there, because your mind is not stopping with thinking and thinking and thinking. And I call it like this train thoughts, right? So even if you're just by yourself, thoughts are coming up. And the question is, do I enter this train? And let's see where the train is going and brings me up. But everything is related with feelings. So when you're going to work and someone is asking you, how was the speech? It's all about the feeling. How was the vacation? It's all about the emotion, right? So we are so connected, and that's what I really like to speak about it, because as Melanie mentioned, I'm a relationship coach, and I'm helping people to lay a foundation for a partnership where they can truly be themselves. And this is quite challenging in our society, right? To be more authentic and to live who I truly are. So it needs like a courage to show who I really are. And so thanks to yourself that you joined this speech, because what I hear a lot from my coaches is I want to feel more inner relaxation. I want to feel more peace. And I want to feel more connection. And connection with other people means you have to reconnect with yourself. So the question is, who really wants to enjoy or wants to feel also like this kind of emotion? And in my speech, I'm going to speak or to delve into the topic about what emotion really is. Is there like a difference between emotion and feeling? Why is body feedback so important for us? And that's the most part, or the most important part from my perspective, how you can step out from suffering. And what means suffering? The connection about your mind, and as I earlier mentioned, about like all the thoughts you have like all the time, and about your heart, the feeling. And I'm quite frankly speaking about this because my recent weeks have been, I just want to say probably, but it's surely the most emotional weeks I've ever had so far, because my girlfriend died 6 weeks ago. And that's when emotions are coming up, so I feel it right away. And I was thinking about, shall I really say it? But why not? It's me. And my mind said, you cannot tell it because maybe it's not correct, right? But it is. It's to be authentic means like also to speak about it. And it's for whatever reason, months ago I already planned to join or to went into a darkness retreat for a couple of days, just by myself in a totally darkness. And I told my girlfriend, so I will quit this, I will not do it, I will stay with you. And it happened what happened, basically, what I just mentioned. And my mind said, like, can you really go into the darkness? Really? And I said, like, this is the perfect time for me. So I feel it inside. Let's see what the darkness will show me. And it was, for me personally, it was a game changer. A game changer because when you don't be distracted from like the sense you have, right, from your eyes and whatever, and you just be by yourself, it's unbelievably challenging, I can tell you. It's not the darkness what challenged me, so it was like my own thoughts was like, oh my God, I cannot run away because here I am. So everything what I experienced, I tried in the best way to incorporate in my speech, because I'm totally convinced that it can help you. So let's see if I'm right. And I would like, at the beginning, I would like to invite you to participate in a short exercise. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes for about 30 to 40 seconds. Peace in this room. And it's just that you notice what you're feeling at this moment. And of course, you don't have to tell anyone, to keep it to yourself. The idea is just to see what is present right now. And if you can pinpoint it. Ready? Okay, now, good. Close your eyes, please. Okay, good. The longest 30 seconds, right? Oh my God, when is he saying stop it? So quiet. How was it? Was it easy? Easy? Oh wow. Oh, wow. Challenging? Challenging? So? I can imagine. Huh? And it's maybe you felt, I don't know, maybe you felt pressured, right? Pressured about, or even suspicious, if your neighbor really has closed their eyes. Is it really closed your eyes? Or is it just me? Really? Or maybe like a discussion came up from yesterday night with your partner. And it was suddenly there and you felt the emotion about it. Or even the situation that, oh, hopefully my cell phone is not ringing at this moment, because this could be really awkward for me, because when everyone gets distracted just by my phone, so maybe you want to. So sometimes it's very hard to differentiate our emotions, right? Because emotions glide by so quickly that we even notice them sometimes. But the first question is, and thanks for joining guys. The first question is, what is an emotion really? You might have some ideas about what an emotion really is. I try to make it very, very simple, because if you Google it, you will find complicated definitions about emotions. So an emotion is basically, if you see the name emotion, it's nothing else than energy in motion. Energy in motion. And for instance, let's take the example I just mentioned about we are in a quiet area, and then out of a sudden a cell phone is ringing, and I realize, damn it, it's my cell phone. So what happens, or what might happen? I feel ashamed probably, because everyone is looking at me. And the word itself, like if there's like hundreds of emotions, there's like the emotion of, let's call it like shame. For instance, it's just a word, right? But the reaction which came like automatically is basically just to help us to understand ourselves and the needs we have. Because once I feel ashamed, it's basically I feel a little bit of weak and I don't want to feel it. So what can I do just to push it away? And so that's the reason why I always say emotions are neither good or bad, it's just our judgment of it. When I have a discussion with my girlfriend, something is coming up, I will say, wow, I feel like this. So just the judgment makes it really complicated, because then you stick into your mind. And when you see like the picture, I placed this picture here because this happened to me like for months. When I was driving in a car, I was on the left lane, and someone who was, let's say, who was totally relaxed, got like to the totally left lane, and I just wanted to push him away, right? And I could feel like their anger. And I was like, why I'm so angry about it? And I could solve it. And the question is, how did I solve it? For me, that I feel totally relaxed now. And I wouldn't say totally relaxed, because when, let's say, when someone is in a hospital and I need to get there immediately, then of course I feel pressured and I want to get there. But the emotion is showing me my need to get there and to have the energy feeling inside me to get as soon as possible. So is there a difference between emotions and feelings? And I know that in our everyday language, we pretty much use the same word for emotions and for feelings. But yes, indeed, there's a difference. Because let's stick to the word, like, or the emotion of shame. The feeling is basically the translation into your body. How you feel it. So this is the experience of the emotion in your body. And you probably had the situation. It happened to me as well. Even if you're in a meeting, when you're speaking to children or with your partner, for instance, and you get triggered so much, right? The emotion is coming up, and you say something out of the emotion, and after an hour probably you say like, oh damn it, why did I say this? Because you act out of the emotion. It's not you. It was the emotion. And all the time, because my coaches ask me about, so what is it like about when I feel like anger and I need to do something and I need to say something, and this is basically when you don't accept your emotions because you want to push it away. You want to make someone else responsible for what is inside you. And the interesting part is when I said about Tom Hanks in Castaway, for instance. Of course, when we are in relationships, in a conscious or in a subconscious way, we realize emotions. But the important part is our mind, because all the time there are like some thoughts. All the time are like some thoughts, and it's the question about how do I handle the thoughts? How do I interact with myself? And that's what I try to tell you, because as I already mentioned, like 5 days in the totally darkness, you cannot go out, because my inner, just to be proud of myself, you have to stay there. You have to confront yourself, right? And this is what I realized, how you actually can step out from suffering. Let's speak first about emotional freedom. Do you have any idea what is emotional freedom? Any idea?
Enlightenment.
Enlightenment, yeah. Yeah.
To be able to detach from the emotion?
Yeah.
To accept the emotion.
Oh, very good. Very good. Very good. I have two, I would like to take you to two situations. I have like two pictures with me. The first situation, let's picture yourself, you're coming to Creative Mornings today. Whatever you used, if it's like subway or it's like the bus, let's call it the bus. So you enter the bus, there's a lot of people in there. you take a seat in the bus, and maybe it's the first time that you don't take out the cell phone right away, because that's what everyone is doing, right? It's distract yourself, it's not reconnect to yourself. And you're sitting there, and out of a sudden you feel like uncomfortable. So why do I feel like something is inside me? And then it's the first question, probably, and just take it. Maybe you realize something different, but what happened to me was, why do I feel like this? What happens? Did I eat something wrong? Is there something going on? Did I miss something? What is it about? And the feeling was still there, and after like a couple of stations, and probably I take out my phone and I was listening to music, because I need to calm down, I need to relax, I need to drink something, whatever you are doing from the outside, just to help your inner side to get over it, right? So, and you exit the bus, you're getting here, you're not thinking about it, you have discussions, whatever, with some friends here or with new friends, and but the feeling is still there. And I told you, it's energy, and energy wants to flow, right? If you keep holding on it, what happens to energy? It's stuck. It's also the same when you feel it in your body and you're going like all the time to the massage. It happened to me as well. I could do this like every week. Like months ago, actually I could go there every week, and 2 days later I could feel the same pain in my muscle. And it's like, what's going on? It's energy. So the question is, where in my body is it? What is my body showing me actually? Because energy wants to flow, right? And this is what I want to show you, how you can actually step out and feel more this relaxation. And the second situation I want to picture, and maybe you feel it as well, it's also, I'm not sure if you can see it, but I will explain it to you, is when you watch a movie by yourself or with your friends, and there's like a really sad situation coming up, who can cry? Very good. Who can cry in front of people and it doesn't bother you? Wow, congratulations.
If it's a movie, I can cry.
It's a movie, you can cry. Okay. So to be honest, this happened to me, and I tell you like a really, I wouldn't say awkward situation, because it's not awkward to me, so I don't feel like it's awkward. But all the time when I was watching a movie, what happened when a super sad situation came up, I could feel it in my body that the sadness is coming up. And I was like, I don't want to cry, I cannot cry. I mean, my girlfriend or with people, so I was pushing it away, right? I don't want to feel it. And my girlfriend was totally crying, and I was like, oh my God, how can she do this? Really? And she asked me like, are you not sad? And I said, no, I'm sad. I don't see it. And this is what happened to me. And so now it's the question, who experienced emotional freedom? My girlfriend or me? Right? And the first time, really the first time, I was traveling for 6 months. The first time I was crying, I was watching like a Tom Hanks movie. It was super emotional, and I was in a bus, and I was in a bus to Chile. A Chile guy was sitting next to me, and it was emotional. I could feel that the emotion is coming up, and I was like, no. I'm ready to feel the emotion. I will change it, because, and we are coming, I will speak in a minute about it. What's my experience, that you really have that you get something out of the speech. So I was there and I could like, oh my God, the emotion's coming. Now it's the time. Okay. So I was on the left side, the guy was sitting on the right side. I was watching, I had my cell phone with me, and I was a little bit turning left, watching him, and then out of a sudden I was like crying, and it didn't stop. And after that, it was like a little bit awkward, I'm totally honest. It was the first time I was totally honest, and then I felt this, oh, this is so good. I feel released. And actually this was the first step, and a couple of times happened, and I mentioned when my girlfriend died, I was crying like a baby. And I didn't feel ashamed when people were like watching me, because this is actually what connects us, right? If you show yourself, if you be authentic, if I know who you really are, that's actually what makes our life livable, and what we actually should focus, and not what people think about myself. And if you don't do it, I took this picture because it's my interpretation, and that's what I use as well when I speak with my coaches. If you don't feel the emotions, it's like an emotional straitjacket. You think you push it away, you don't push it away, because we talked about like children, right? If you say like, oh no, I don't feel about, I don't allow myself or the emotions to come up, and my kids are triggered. Every time they're putting the mirror in front of me, and the emotions are coming up, and all the emotions you don't allow yourself to live, they are still there. And what happens when emotions don't flow? Stuck. Then you see, like, that's my personal belief, then you call the massage therapist, or you go to the doctor and say, I don't know, I have so back problems, or I cannot really breathe, I don't know what happens, and so on and so on. And this is natural medicine, basically, to let the emotions be there. But why is it so difficult to feel our emotions? Why is it so difficult? I have spoken before about to live your life, but sometimes we allow yourself just to live this part and not this part. And the question is, why? Speaking about emotions is, it's super comfortable for our friends, right? When you're in a good mood, it's always easy, right? But what happens if you have dinner with friends and you let your emotions be there and say, I'm not feeling well? Usually we want it more comfortable for ourselves, right? And there's probably a couple of reasons, and every one of you have like reasons for it, why we don't, why it's so difficult for us. From my perspective is the society of suppression, so where we live. And why like this? Because that's pretty much right what we talked about. And you can read it faster than I read it for you. But the small child, and you experience this maybe by yourself, or you see friends when they're acting or whatever. So how often when a child is crying, how often you say, stop crying, you're not a baby anymore. Or, Daddy, there is a ghost in my room, I'm so afraid. There are no ghosts. Or, don't be so dramatic, don't be a wimp, whatever. And for us, like for boys, for men, is it easy or is it difficult to show our emotions? And what would people say? Right? Because we spoke about, we got the education from our parents, the parents from our grandparents, and everything is coming in beliefs and whatever, and we experience this as well. So that's what happens, and I experienced so many, even in my, when my nephew is there and my mom is telling him, so stop crying and then you will get like this or that, and say like, Mom, cannot do this, let him cry. No, because he's crying like already like for 5 minutes. It's about you now, right? It's not about him, right? So that's what happened about making ourselves comfortable about it. But there's a big, big gift inside for you. So, because feeling your emotions is accepting what it is without judgment in the present moment. So, coming back to the picture I mentioned when you are in the bus, for instance, or watching a movie, what would happen? And even for me, staying here on the stage, speaking in English, even if I was living abroad for a couple of years, it's the first time for like months speaking in English. So what happened? Oh, I could feel the emotions. And what usually happens when you feel being nervous? You learned about drink something. Shit, it doesn't help. What shall I do? Whatever, right? But just to feel, when you're sitting in the bus, I'm feeling uncomfortable. Okay, I'm feeling uncomfortable. The first question is not like, where is it coming from? And I will deep dive a little bit in a second. What's the steps and what's my recommendation, how you actually can step out from suffering, because emotions just want to flow, right? And then you feel this inner relaxation I mentioned earlier in my speech, and this peace and serenity. Wow. Who doesn't want to feel like this? So you can reflect for a moment. If there are like emotions you consciously push away, or are there emotions you say, please, please, looking for the next vacation, joy, please give it to me, and I will, please, joy, stay there for the next 5 months, and in the summertime I have 2 weeks that I can go on vacation and I can feel it. And then you are there, and then you realize that you packed your backpack with all this kind of thoughts, and you're at the beach, watching the waves, and you feel like, oh damn it, it's not joy right now. But the people told me I should go on vacation to feel joy for my joyness, right? It doesn't work. So maybe you can reflect for yourself where you live just a part of yourself and the other part you push away. It also happened to me, and I told you about like to allow my sadness to come up. I love it. So now. So can we agree that at this stage, can we agree that feeling your emotion is worth trying it? Can we agree about it? So the question is now, and that's why I prepared my flip chart. So now the flip chart is coming up. There are like four words I just want to bring up to you. Maybe you realize that you joined an event, spiritual event. It was like, I was in the energy of everything flowing, and I stepped out, and my daily routine came up. But where's the energy going from the event? I thought I can take it with me, right? So what usually happens is that we stick to this area here. The knowledge. We read a book, we hear something, we are watching, we're going to an event. You know so much. But the question is, who is actually going to the next level? Acting. That's life. Acting. And what means acting? This is basically still like the comfort zone, right? This is going to the growth area. And how does growth feel at the first time? I'm not sure what happens. Feel the insecurity. And then you will get an experience and you will get a feeling. Because I always tell my coaches about if you never tried an espresso, for instance, I can speak 20 minutes about the best espresso in the world. And you will tell everyone out the best espresso is coming from this country and what they are doing and preparing and whatever. And then someone is asking, oh, have you tried it? No. Because I cannot tell you from the experience and the feeling how a really good espresso tastes, right? I cannot tell you. You have to make your own experience. And that's what I would like to invite you to you realized or you get some knowledge, and I hope that you're going to the next stage. Because in my speech I mentioned it's self-empowerment. And what means self-empowerment? And the good part is you have a choice now. You have a choice. And what is exactly the choice? First is the routine. The daily routine. So the daily routine, I mentioned that you, let's say, you observe something inside you, but all the time you are saying like, why is it coming up? Where is it coming from? How can I make it and push it away because I don't want to feel it, right? You are in your mind, in your mind. And what means being in your mind and looking for reasons? It's not accepting. It's the same when you feel anger and you're looking for a parking lot. Parking lot. You're looking for a parking lot. It happened to me, and it was like I could see it. Everything was blocked in Max Vorstadt. I could see it, and then like another guy is just jumping into this parking lot, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Oh, sorry, maybe. Really? So, and what happens? How can he do this? And this is not, all the questions are coming up. I'm not accepting. And I'm arguing with him. How can you do it? And there's like a fight and I'm arguing. Whatever. It's not accepting. So the question is, what could be the change? And that was really personally for me, the change being hours and hours and hours by myself. What was the change? And it's the same that I'm observing something, staying here, I observe, being nervous, And the first part is feeling, just feel to be nervous, feel to be ashamed, feel to be uncomfortable, whatever, feel joy without judgment. Where is it coming from? Why is it like this? Because all the time you're asking yourself, you're going into the mind and not into your inner deep feeling. I call it like our heart, our soul. So without judgment, just it is what it is. And when I'm saying about what means feeling, because I also got asked from my coaching, so what do you mean by feeling? Because we are super smart in our brain, right? We can calculate everything, but to handle our emotions, it's super challenging for us. Because of course, who learned or who showed us to handle our emotions? Is it in our school? Emotional intelligence? I don't know. When you remember back to your school, and I ask you right away, give me 1 point which is really important right now, or still important. Can you say something? I don't know. But how you handle a conflict, what happens to you, that you see first, you look into the mirror, it's inside me, before I'm going into the other people. I don't want to deep dive like in the COVID situation, but this was a perfect example. You are responsible that I cannot go shopping. Because whatever. Always push away. So what means feeling? That's the force I mentioned earlier. It's like 3 steps, but I just want to make it a little bit more clear. 4 steps. The first is the observing what's around, what's inside me. And it means to be really mindful. And there's like mindfulness is like it's everywhere right now. Everyone is like saying mindfulness and just listening to the app, and you're like mindfulness and breathe in and that's it and whatever. Yeah, it is. It is right now. I mean, you can see it everywhere, but what's really mindfulness? And I give you just an easy example because that's what a friend told me. Of course, I could speak when I have dinner. I could speak much more in detail, but I told her the next time when you're waiting for the bus, You don't take your fast food in front of you. I call it fast food. So it's basically just when the sun is shining, just feel the sun on your skin. How does it feel? We have our 5 senses, right? What we see, what we smell, what we feel, and just to open up and just to see what you can observe. What does it do to me, basically? And the next question is, I feel uncomfortable, or I'm feeling like to be nervous right now. So where in your body you can feel it? And that's what I mentioned about the body feedback. The body is showing us so much. And if we listen to our body, I don't want to see that's like the healing part or so, because I have to be quite, from my side, it's a healing part. So when I feel that an emotion is coming up, I observe it. Oh wow, that's sad. And for me, sadness is that it's coming up like this. It's that I can feel something in my throat. And I'm not asking why is it like this or blah, blah, blah. It's just allow the feeling to be there. And from a psychology perspective, they're saying like up to 90 seconds it depends on the intensity of an emotion, how long the emotions are there, and just to feel. And let the emotion be there. And accept it. And until you don't feel it. So that's basically my recommendation. I can give it to you. So once it's coming up, you observe in your body, you connect with it, and you feel it. It's with like small children as well. When you picture it, they're crying, but they want to get the attention, right? So if you're going there, you hug them, it's gone. And not to say, stop crying. So, I'm coming to the end of my speech, and do we have like another 30 seconds? Yeah. What about the feeling part? Would you like to feel again what's happening right now inside you after you get like some more information? So I just invite you to participate. Just another 30 seconds, and just to feel what's inside you right now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you. And I like to have like a movement that you can thank yourself. Would you like to copy the movement? It's very easy. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's come to your face. Thank you for being here.